on the streets of Chicago. It is around 3:30 in the morning. I'm coming home, coming from work. When you're on these streets, you have to be very careful. There are a bunch of no-nos that you don't do when you're on the streets of Chicago. There's no game out here. A lot of people play games out here. They think it's like a video game when you out here in your car. It is not. It's no joke. So one of the no-nos that you do when you're out here is mind your own business. If you see someone trying to race you, don't indulge. Don't even look at them. Try to, keep your attention focused on the road, focused ahead. Someone comes up beside you, slow it down. Maybe even, I wouldn't suggest to get off, but maybe, like I said, slow it down. And just try to actually pretend like you don't even see them, like you're not even interested. Another thing is, don't flicker your lights. Don't ever flick your lights, even if you're just trying to be friendly, trying to just get someone's attention to go next, or whatever, or do some type of courtesy thing. A lot of people take it very offensive, and they do offensive or defensive, which is not defensive at all, but they think it is towards you. They will sit there and try to run you off the road. They will go so far as trying to pow you. So do not flicker your lights. Do not try to race anyone. Don't try to race anyone. When you're out there trying to race people, you can not only could you cause an accident with someone, someone else being afraid because you're coming down the road 100 miles an hour. Someone could be making a lane change and not seeing you come, and all it takes is just a small brush, and that's it, and they're done. It's over with. So try not to race people up and down the highway. I see it all the time. Another no-no is don't cut people off. If you start cutting people off, even if, go behind them. A lot of times when people are doing any type of road rage or any type of retaliation, they're on drugs or medication, of some type of medication, or they are, just don't have it all. And when you sit there trying to find a light, there we go. When you sit there and try to challenge people, cut people off, or someone cut you off and now you're doing them. I had an incident today where this car was trying to get in my lane. So what I did was I sped up. So it had no choice but to go behind me. So the car was a truck, actually, like a SUV, big, or some kind of big pickup truck. It was kind of big. And it's like on my butt, I noticed, in back of me. So I'm slowing down, because when people do that, I slow down. If you want to be all in my butt, you might end up hitting me. So I slow down just to, kind of let them know, dude, you too close. But he was trying to let me know he didn't care. So I said, okay, that's fine. So now we're coming to this fork of a road, and it has one of those speed cameras. And so he tries to speed up on the side of me, but he can't go faster because that camera will pick him up on speeding. So then he comes on the side of me, and it was kind of a truck like that. So he comes on the side of me, and then he's gonna try to pass me. So I speed it up, and then he puts his signal on. So it's like he wants to speed up and pass me. I'm not going too slow because there's a car in front of me, so it's not that I'm going too slow. He's just being a jerk because I passed him up the first time and didn't let him in, is what he was mad about. Like, I didn't let him in front. I sped up. So what I did next, I just sped up a little bit and kept it there. He had no choice but to go, in front of me. I mean, not in front of me, I'm sorry, but to go back in back of me and let me go back in front of him. He had no choice. So he was mad about that. But what was funny was he ended up turning off somewhere else, like where we got to another point. He ended up turning off somewhere else before my turn. So it was like, dude, you was doing all that speeding trying to get to the spot where we was going to, and you were making a turn and going somewhere other than where I was going. But anyway, that happened. So, I don't know if he was late or she. You know what, to tell you the truth, I don't even know if it was a woman. It could have been a woman. I didn't even see who it was. I just assumed it was a guy because of the type of truck. I don't know. But whoever it was just being kind of really rude and lousy. So I just chalked it up as, but I didn't show any road rage. I didn't show any retaliation or any anger or any, what I'm saying? I didn't show any type of action about that whole situation. I just kind of just pretended. I didn't even look at the person. I was just like, my driving did all the talking. I was like, you're not getting in front of me, so you can give that up the whole time. So anyway, another no-no is don't run around with your music sky high loud. And even though if you're not that type of person, don't do it, because you're attracting attention, and especially if it's some music people don't like. Sometimes some people be playing music people don't like, but try not to, have loud music. And I'm saying this starting in Chicago, and I say this starting in any city, try to go by these kind of rules, but I'm saying specifically Chicago. So try not to have loud music because it attracts attention, and then people get all in their feelings and they might want to shut you down, and they will chase you. They will chase you. Because right now I'm like on a regular street, right? Another thing, try not to go too slow. Always go the speed limit. If someone is riding you in your butt, you're probably better off pulling over to the side as if that's your stop, or going down another street if you think they're kind of like stalking you. Go down another street and try to see maybe, if it's just, a coincidence they're trying to get around you. Because sometimes people are very impatient and they really are trying to get around you, and you might be going slower than they would like you to go, and you're going the speed limit. You're going 35, that's your speed limit, and they want to go 45 or 50. So let them be, let them go around you, or go down another street and let them bypass, because you don't know if they're following you or not. Sometimes it could be road rage. Sometimes people are road raging on you and you don't even know why. You don't even know what you did. That actually happened to somebody I know. There was two females, they were in a car, and some dude was road raging, like chasing them and cursing at them out the window. And these were like a mother and daughter, and then the guy was like a 60-year-old guy who was just like road raging out the window. And these were two like, women. And this guy was like calling them, or was saying, whatever. I think he was saying, "You stupid," and da, da, da. And then they were trying to get the plate and the model of the car, but all they could really see, they were so scared and paranoid about the whole thing. And they don't recall anything that they did to the guy on the way there. They don't recall cutting him off. They don't recall going too slow. They just was like, this guy just started pulling up beside us, and he was just like snapping off. So you got to be aware of that. You don't know. Sometimes you might do something that you're not trying to do, and it might set someone off. You can't control that. And then again, maybe this guy just, in his mind, maybe that's what he thought they were doing, being rude, or thought they were going too slow. I don't know. They don't even know. So you do have your people on the streets like that. So beware of that, try to be conscious of other drivers. Sometimes you have to be an offensive driver instead of defensive. You do offense, where you're just trying to make sure that, you're not doing anything that's provoking someone. And it's unfortunate it's that way, but that's the way you got to be to stay safe and to stay out of accidents. You should be doing that anyway. Be, instead of a defensive driver, an offensive on the offense, So, so those are some no-nos. Another thing, be careful of having your window rolled down too far. I would say just have it maybe, if you're trying to get some air, maybe 2 inches at the most, because you could. And then when you're at stop lights and stop signs, watch people coming around your car or crossing the street in front of your car. because you have a lot of people that are trying to carjack cars, trying to carjack. That thing, the carjacking was up like last summer and the summer before last. The carjacking was just up. So you have to be careful of that. You got to be careful of people trying to steal your car. A lot of times they're not. Back in the day, they would steal your cars because of the make and model. These days, they're stealing your car so they can commit a crime in your car, and then they'll ditch your car. And by the time the police report goes out and people are looking for it, they have ditched your car. They may ditch the car close to where they live. They may ditch the car somewhere else, and maybe there's a second car, because sometimes there's a second car. But they would do their crime in the first car. A lot of times they may be robbing people. They may be doing drive-by shootings. Who knows? So the thing is, be careful of getting carjacked, stopping at lights and, you know, at signs, stop signs, stuff like that. That's where they tend to try to, you know, pick you off. So these are just like some do's and don'ts while you're driving that I was thinking about, especially at night. Like right now, it's like almost 3:45 in the morning. You know, I'm doing this live, you know, Chicago Midwest time. And like I said, it's a lot of times, you know, that there could be like a lot of things happening, that, you know, that you may be aware of or that you're not aware of. So try to be aware. That's the name of the game. Try to be aware. If you are aware, that is half the battle. If people see that you are aware of certain things, that's half the battle. But when it comes to the driving situation, that's when you want to sort of be aware of things, but you want to show people you're not paying them attention, because they want that attention. They want to scare you. They want to intimidate you. They want to, you know, and you know, just be having you on the brim of having an accident. So you have to be careful of that. Another thing is, when you're on a freeway, try not to drive too slow in the fast lanes. You got people that are in fast lanes driving too slow. That is irritating. Or they're in the slow lane driving too fast. You know, and then have you ever had that thing where people have attitudes because you're driving in the slow lane slow, and they're mad because you're driving slow, like you need to pick it up and go faster? That is annoying. I mean, come on, you're in the slow lane, so you have to treat it as the slow lane. So, you know, what can you do? That's what I'm saying. What can you do? But the thing is, you know, be careful when you're out there. People are clowning. And like I said, you always think that people are either on some type of medication, they're on some type of drugs, they're, you know, far as street drugs, or they just have mental health issues. They have anger issues. They have, they're impatient. So it's like a lot of things that are going on. And then sometimes they're set off by people, maybe other people, or things that has happened in their lives. Someone passed away. Someone has cussed them out and made them have a bad day. And so now it's their job to go out and try to make somebody else have a bad day. So you have to be careful of these things and keep that in mind. It's a lot of times it's not personal, because nobody personally knows who you are in that car. And then you never know, some things could be personal. But I'm just saying, 9 times out of 10, at least a lot of my encounters, none of it's been personal, because they didn't know me and I didn't know them. And like I said, maybe I did things to pee them off, not intentionally, but I'm just saying to them. Maybe I was going too slow. That has happened. I think I told this story before, where one time I was going too slow for these police officers, 2 females. I was going down a regular street doing 30 miles down the street, and I guess it was a little bit too slow for them. So what they do is, we get at the stop it was a light, and it was a red light. We get there, and so they come around me, and then they cut my car off on an angle. So at this angle, I can't even go make a right, and I can't go forward. So the light turns green. So they stay there. For a minute, I thought they were going to get out the car, but they didn't get out the car. So they stayed there until the light turned red again. Then as the light was turning red, when the yellow light came on and it was turning red, then they start pulling off straight ahead across the street. Yeah. They start pulling across the street. And I'm like, what is that about? Why are you pulling, you know? So they started pulling ahead across the street. And then I'm like, okay, they were just being vindictive, or whoever the driver was. And these are our police officers. And don't get me started on the whole detail of that or on that type of situation. But my point of the matter was that it was just very rude and very unnecessary, and you're abusing your authority and your power. And how, as me as a citizen, can be, you know, respectful and believe in you or trust you. But anyway, that's a different situation. But that happened. And so I guess it upset them. And like I said, I wasn't intentionally going slow. I wasn't even going slow like I was scared to go fast because the police are behind me. I was just doing the regular speed limit. The regular speed limit. That's it. So it doesn't matter, you know. And like I said, what they were on, I don't even know. Maybe I'm assuming they were having a bad day or just a long day because they're officers, and being police officers can be stressful in society, especially in the inner city. So I just chalked it up as that. You never know. Some of them could have mental issues. You know, you never know. So, you know, that are some things that you shouldn't do. Another thing is, do not say actively be seen on the phone, because not only that, you have police behind you or around you, or you will be having people upset with you because they're thinking you're being distracted by the phone, and you're not driving to your capabilities that you should be. I've seen that happen. It didn't happen to me, but I've seen that happen. And I've had drivers in front of me or around me distracted from driving because they're on the phone. And it's clearly in their hands. And they're going slow, and they're being, you know, unsure, or, you know, not so sure about what turns they're going to make. You know, so it's frustrating. So when you're behind them, you're like, are you going to make a right? Are you going to make a left? Why aren't you moving? Why aren't you going at the speed limit? So you do get that. You get drivers who are distracted by the phone. Some of them are texting. You see them texting, and you're like, come on, dude, you got to drive. Or usually I see women. I mean, I'm keeping it straight 100%. I see a bunch of women doing it, not dudes. But sometimes that happens. So, like, you just got to be careful of things of that nature. I like totally getting off that subject of the driving. I brought this up, not getting off the subject, but it's pretty much the subject. I'm talking about driving because on my YouTube channel, like I said, I'm trying to help people in different situations or different experiences that I've had that I can express to people on YouTube by using YouTube. Because sometimes people are not aware of these things that happen, and not thinking like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing, you know, because some of them are older, some people are younger, and they haven't had, like the younger people haven't had that much of a driving experience, and the older people, well, they just haven't, you know, they maybe forgot, or they're just not thinking, you know, about the modern times, because modern times you got different modern people doing different things. And then so on that note, YouTube are paying us to get on here and to express and give ideas and be helpful hints, things of that nature. And YouTube are paying people to just for their ideas, or just for, you know, just for being helpful. And so when I get on here on YouTube, I'm always remembering things that could have been helpful for me if people had told me about it. But no one ever explained these things to me. No one ever told me these things. These are things that I've learned on my own, that I had to find out, or that I learned through other stories and things of that nature. We didn't have YouTube back in my day. We didn't have social media back in the days, you know. So we didn't have these connections with other people. And so, like I said, YouTube are paying small content creators to create content that is helpful, that is, you know, that will help people watch or have more watch hours on YouTube, you know, for people to be out there to spend time on it. So, and of course they do have advertisers and things of that nature on there, so that advertisers can be on there and do their thing. But I like to be helpful in, because I'm up in age, so I have a lot of experiences in life and life experiences toward different things. And so we're told to get on here on YouTube and talk about that. And then especially if you're like over 50 years and older, you have a lot of experiences, a lot of situations, a lot of knowledge to share. And this is one of mine that, I got on here compelled to start sharing. And that's about driving. And, don't be out here driving like a fool. Because you got a lot of people be out here every night driving like a fool, and they end up unaliving other people instead of themselves, because they're out here thinking it's fun, thinking it's like, a video game, and thinking they're in a video game. And so, like I said, I get on YouTube and I express, whatever, anything that I feel I can, teach people, and they can learn from anything that I'm saying, or get hints of knowledge from things that I'm talking about, and these are things that'll save your life. These are things that will also be cost effective and save you from spending money, because when you get in car accidents, you got to pay a deductible to get that car fixed. And a lot of you don't think about that. Even for that dent, a lot of you care for your car so much, you want it to be perfect. Well, if you're denting it up and crashing it up, you don't have no more car, or you just have this car that's you don't even like looking at. So you guys have to be careful out there when you're driving. And so I give these hints out here on YouTube, because this is a great platform to be on, great platform to express and tell your story and whatever stories you have. I always encourage, especially the 50 and older crowd, get on YouTube and express and tell your stories. Everybody has a story, or more than one story to tell. You guys that are 50 and older, been through life and been through different situations, and a lot of what you're talking about can help other people learn, especially the younger generation, or your own generation, people your age. So that's my story for the day about, driving. And if I think of anything else, I would definitely, get on here and talk about it. All right. So thank you all for tuning in. Tune in next time. Peace. Peace out, YouTube. I can't. All right. Peace out.